Hello, welcome back to Scene by Few. This week we're doing a new to the scene. We decided to go see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness,
Indeed.
and actually, go to the theater for it.
Hmm.
Which is just one of those things that reminds me I don't really like going to the theater anymore.
Hmm. I still dig it. It's just,
It's a hassle.
yeah. I think that COVID has taught us that it's not as fun. So I may have to interrupt this video to go grab my son. So, just
Oh.
a fair warning.
Oh.
Tonight is the multiverse of mad babies. So, um, but yeah, I like going to the theater because I like going with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of inconsiderate people who just make the theater experience not as fun.
Yeah, it's also one of those things that I guess if your house is like loud or whatever, and you don't have enough stuff at home to like make for a good theater experience, I could see why going to the theater is kind of like a worthwhile thing.
Yeah.
Because you go there, you're away from everybody for a little bit, and you just get to chill. But I don't have such circumstances. My house is pretty quiet. Like
Yeah.
I can throw on a movie and not get interrupted by like stuff going on inside my house. And then when I have to use the restroom, I can just pause it and go to the bathroom instead of waiting like for the Batman. Was it 3 hours?
Yeah, like 3 hours and 10 minutes or something.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a bit daunting. Um, I powered down 2 ices before that movie.
Oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah, it was because I was fit to burst by the end of it, but I was so enthralled I never left the theater. But let me tell you, when the credits started rolling on that one, me and Amber both charged the bathroom. Like I was Batman vigilante punching people out of the way.
Get out of my way.
Why do you want to see my dick burst? Yeah, like it was pretty bad, but at the same time, it was worth the pain. Did we do a Batman review?
No, because I didn't want to go to the theater to see it.
Oh,
I only watched it once it came on HBO Max,
got
and
it.
then I could watch it in my own space through my own, and pause it when necessary. Although ironically, I didn't pause it because I don't think I had a drink with me.
If you want us to see us do a Batman review, leave it down in the comments.
For a 3-hour movie, it'd be a pretty short review for me at least.
I mean, we could watch it again on
God, again, it's 3 hours.
Well, I guess we're already tipping our hat on what we thought on that one, so maybe no review needed.
I mean, it was fine. It's just you get the mystery and you're kind of done. You watch it and you're like, oh, it's the mystery. Oh, there it is. Bye, movie. It was fun.
Okay, we're not talking about it.
Okay.
Anyways.
We'll squeeze in a mini review at the beginning of the Batman movie, or at the beginning of the Doctor Strange movie. All right, so you went to see it the weekend it came out. I waited until like Tuesday just so I could kind of go when there wasn't very many people there, and I think there was only like 8 people, so I had a pretty good empty theater, and it was nice and quiet.
That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
We went and saw it with a packed house.
Mm.
So, but no COVID, as far as we know.
That probably would have hit you by now after a week.
Yeah. But yeah, it was.
Well, do we want to give our ratings? And
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, you probably should just show the numbers before you like start barreling into talking about it. So
yeah. So let's deal with the numbers. You want me to go first?
sure.
So I actually kind of like this movie. I think I'm going to give it a 7. Are you narrowing it? Are you narrowing in on me kind of liking a movie?
A little bit. Like I was waffling between a 7 and 8, and I was like, how much do I think he really liked it? So I was going between, but I picked the right number apparently.
Yeah. Well, there's also even with like the Spider-Man one, I ended up giving it a 9. That might be more of an 8, but it's got that like nostalgia factor to it. That's kind of and as this movie was interesting, but it had some stuff in it I thought was kind of cool, and I'm like, well, I'll play it safe and go for a 7 because I don't think it's quite an 8 for me.
Yeah. Well, if I was to give this movie 0 to 10, I'd have to give it. I'd say an 8.
Oh, look at that. I tend to think of what I might give it, and then maybe give you one more, because you tend to be a bit more lenient on movies than I think. I am sometimes. Just because I think middle numbers are fine. It's okay. It's okay if a movie's a 6. A 6 is a good movie.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, anything middle to above is like worth.
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
Yeah, well,
And I think we're in a time period in which people have to be like, it's either a 10 or it's a 0.
yeah. Well, I kind of like Jeremy John's rating system, even though it's a little confusing because I still to this day have not been able to figure out, is Awesome-tacular the best or is buy it on Blu-ray the best?
I think Awesome-tacular is the best.
Okay.
Because I think Awesome-tacular is like, get out to the theater to watch it now. Whereas wait until it's buy it on Blu-ray. It's kind of like wait till it's on Blu-ray. And it's worth actually purchasing as opposed to just like a rental.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's...
I think...
It's the thing that confuses me about that, it's like, it's Awesome-tacular. That means, I'm going to go see it in the theater. Buy it on Blu-ray or buy it on, whatever, Black-ray or whatever it is now, is like almost like double receipts. So good, you need to own it too. So I've always been, so when he's like...
So you take it as, I need to go see it in the theater and also own it.
Yeah, but I think he's even admitted, he was like, there's no real rhyme or reason. It's just, this is my feelings about it and you can decipher what you will from
Yeah,
it.
because, I mean, we're number grading it just because it seems to be what people want for the most part.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, did you have fun with the movie? And that's kind of the important bit.
Yeah. And I think I did.
So we start talking spoiler bits of it a little bit to give you time to reach down and hit the remote and pause if you don't want to hear spoilers for a new movie, because we're gonna like discuss what we think about the movie, and it's very hard to talk about these movies without going good, without actually talking about what makes us like it. And even like nowadays, trailers showing shit to me kind of pisses me off. And this is one where I went to like YouTube, and they had a picture of one of the cameos on day fucking 2.
Really?
It wasn't a huge cameo. It was Haley Atwell, but still, it annoyed me.
Okay. All right. So yeah, spoilers. You've been warned, and here we go. Mr. Fantastic's in the movie. Oh, still sticking around? You fucked up. So,
and it was John Krasinski too. That was one of the. There are pictures of him pictures of Mr. Fantastic from the comic book, in which it looked like the person who drew Mr. Fantastic was looking at a picture of John Krasinski. So them getting him was kind of cool.
I've seen people doing like that art of like putting up a certain actor like in the suit, and that's all I thought it was. Like as far as like him being in the movie, like I had no fucking clue.
Yeah, me neither.
I knew because it was the Illuminati that they were probably going to have Mr. Fantastic. That I thought there might have been a possibility of seeing like another dimensional
Tony Stark,
Doctor Strange. Like I was expecting to have their, what was it? It was a 363, or no, we were 616, so they were 838 or something like that.
Which bothered me because the Marvel Cinematic Universe is not 616.
It's now.
It's 199999.
No, apparently it is now.
To them. That's Universe 838 calling them 616 is not the same as our universe, the universe where we created it, calling the comic book universe 616, in the movie universe 199999.
I think the mouse disagrees with you now.
The mouse knows where to find my penis and can come and suck it because it's not 616.
I mean, the mouse owns everything now, right? So
they don't own my dick. So that's one thing that bugged me, and it's more of like they were doing it as a it's just like an Easter egg. I'm like, oh, that's fun. But things being fun Easter eggs are not going to be snagged by people and taken like, no, gospel truth. Like it's just a fun reference.
So I took it as okay. Let me just throw this out there.
Sure.
If the cinematic universe is 616 and the comic book universe is 9.362, the pi formula, whatever it is, like what would the universe be for the Fox stuff?
I don't know the numbers, but I'm sure they have them.
Because the only reason, like, I leaned over and whispered to Amber when she was like, our universe is 838, so yours is 616. As soon as she said that, I was like, okay, it's official. Like, everything that's in the comic books that they want to pull over, like, it's all fucking fair game now. Because they pretty much own everything at this point. I can't think of any property other than Spider-Man and, like, all the Spider-Man affiliates that they don't own. But, like, I think even then, like, Sony seems to be leaning pretty hard on Marvel Studios to like get them to direct some of their movies, because it's like everything the mouse does is good, or at least
Marvel
audience likes it.
Yeah, Marvel wise, they put out movies that people like.
Anything Sony does seems to be turning to shit if
they don't include
Yeah,
Feige or whatever.
if Feige doesn't have like his finger in the fucking pie. That said, I kind of wish that I would have went and seen Morbius in the theater, because I was actually looking at like the Rotten Tomato reviews for it and like the IMDb, and like the IMDb is a little low, but I think Rotten Tomatoes has that movie sitting at like somewhere in the mid 70s, like maybe to low 80s
For the audience?
for the audience. So even if the critics are panning it pretty hard right now, I haven't really heard a lot of our friends talking about the movie.
I didn't go to see it. It's basically they're putting out a Jared Leto movie, which is kind of like a who gives a shit.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I want to see it because it was like I was hyped seeing the trailers because I thought he looked great. I thought that he looked like, like Morbius. Like, I thought they did a good job on making him look the way he was supposed to. And supposedly there's supposed to be a cameo in that movie as well that has not been ruined for me.
I've still not even seen the Venom movies yet.
The first one was okay. The second one, like, it's funny because I talked to Tim about it. I was like, you went and saw it? And he went, yep. And I went, how was it? And he goes, it's a Venom movie. And I was like, okay. Like, that pretty much told me everything I needed to know right there. And then Amber and I think we watched it here at the house, and it was just okay.
Yeah, I've wanted to watch them, but they don't put them on like normal streaming services, and I'm not going to pay money to rent a movie that I barely want to see.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, as far as this movie's concerned, yeah, I liked the 616 nod. I thought that was neat. I liked the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was neat, and it consisted of, what was it? Okay, so
you had Mr. Fantastic, John Krasinski over on the left. Next to him was Rashana Lynch, something like that. It was Maria Rambeau as Captain Marvel. Then I think you had Chiwetel Ejiofor was next in the chair as Mordo. You had the empty spot for Professor X.
Yeah, the wheelchair accessible area.
Yeah. You had Haley Atwell as Captain Britain.
Yes.
Have they ever actually named her? I know that they call her Peggy Carter. I don't know if they've ever actually called her Captain Britain or not. But I mean, that's the.
I feel like they said it in that movie, but I'm not 100% sure.
And then lastly, you had Black Bolt, which I don't remember the actor's name because no one watched the Inhumans. And I was sitting there watching down. I'm like, if that's the guy from the Inhuman show, no one gives a shit. No one watched that show.
Yeah. I didn't watch it.
I mean, neither. But they also didn't put it in a place that you could watch it either. Because like that was around the time that like Marvel shows were going to Netflix, and they put it on fucking some weird ass service that no one was going to watch it on. And be like, I would have watched it. Just put it in a place I could have watched it.
Well, it's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. When I was still watching it, they were like heavily setting that show up. And then before it even came out, I think people already started shitting on it, and they're like, this show is going to suck ass. And then like I remember somebody else that I trust about movies, they were like, yeah, that whole storyline sucks ass anyway, so I don't know what they're going to do with it. But it's like, that's like saying when they announced the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and everyone's like, this movie's going to fucking blow.
Yeah, because who gives a shit about the Guardians of the Galaxy? Turns out, a lot of people.
It's good.
You're right at well.
Well, it's not only that, but if you put like a fucking the soundtrack of that movie is crack. So like you automatically win with like millennials because they're like, oh, this is cool music, and then you win with like the old people who are taking their kids to the fucking movie. They're like, oh, fucking CCR, like it had a dope ass soundtrack. It had lovable actors who were doing pretty good with the characters. It was hard to miss with that movie, but it's like, if going into it, if you'd have been like, it's gonna be a fun romp, I remember walking into the movie going, the only thing I can hope is that it's just decent.
Yeah. Well, I remember going into Guardians of the Galaxy thinking, well, Marvel's done pretty good so far. They've only had a few misses, and most of those were the sequels. I don't know if there was any movie that came like right out of the bat that wasn't great.
The Hulk.
I like the Hulk.
Really?
I do. Well, it's mainly because you had Tim Roth in it, and him as like the coked out like guy jacked up on the Captain America juice. It was pretty amusing. Like him facing against Hulk, and you're like, oh man, he thinks he's doing good, but he's not. And then just getting kicked square in the fucking chest by the Hulk. It was good.
Okay, I gotta admit that was funny, but like
you got Hulk smash in there. You got like him doing the clap to put the thing out. You got like him choking out Abomination. There was a lot of neat stuff. I like the leader. Nod was kind of cool. I wish that kind of went somewhere.
Me too. The actor, I forget his name, but he played. He was in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Mm-hmm. And I really like that guy. Mm-hmm. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
Me neither.
The one thing that I really liked about the Hulk movie, well, the two things really, was the nod towards him cutting his finger at the factory and then Stan Lee taking a drink from the bottle, and he's like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
And the other thing I really liked was when he jumped out the helicopter.
Oh yeah,
just trust me.
Smash into the ground.
And he was thinking like the fear or something like that.
Yeah, the adrenaline was gonna get to him.
And he was like, "Oh."
So there is a cameo in that. Well, it's not really a cameo anymore. The teacher in the Spider-Man movies, the one that takes them on the vacations and whatnot. You know, that kind of bearded guy that like drops his camera in the water.
Guilfoyle.
He was in the computer lab that Bruce Banner went into. Remember, like he brought the pizza to what's the Hulk's name? The old Hulk. The guy that was
Lou Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno. He brought the pizza to Lou Ferrigno, and that got him into the thing.
That's
and
right.
then he had another pizza, and like it cuts to the kid across the thing, being like, "Ah, cool pizza." It's the teacher.
Okay.
And then in canon, they've said that since they got the same actor, yeah, that was him still in college, and then he went on to teach at the high school.
Don't know that guy's name either, but we made a promise to each other that we weren't going to waste your time.
Yeah,
Let's just going.
What's the guy's name? Yeah, it's. If we were editors, we could cut all that shit out.
Well, I know his name's Guilfoyle in Silicon Valley. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun movie. It was a popcorn movie.
Which was Incredible Hulk or?
Oh no! Getting back to
back to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, getting back to Doctor Strange. It's fun. Excuse me, spit in the wrong.
Wrong tube.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's a popcorn movie. It had a lot of really interesting bits to it. I think one of my favorites was the face off between the two Doctor Stranges at the end of the movie when they were doing the music thing.
Yeah, I thought that was neat. It's weird, but also a lot of this movie is just kind of silly, and kind of like not full on. I mean, it's Evil Dead horror kind of stuff where it's not like super scary. It's just kind of like weird scary, I guess, in some way.
Yeah. Did you catch all the nods to Evil Dead?
I caught a couple of them.
Yeah,
like the Bruce Campbell punching himself in the face.
That
was pretty obvious.
And then like the black demon thingies that were flying around the time. They reminded me of the Deadites in the beginning in the graveyard.
Yeah.
And then there was a scene, and I don't know if anyone's mentioned it, and I might be completely wrong. But like the car that Ash drives in Evil Dead 2, like when they were going down the street and like everything's going haywire, there was a car that was like floating and like spinning around.
Was that the car?
And it looked like the car.
It probably was, because Sam Raimi's going to put that car in every movie.
Oh yeah, and he loves Bruce Campbell. And the second I knew that Sam Raimi was in this movie, I was like, Bruce is going to show up somewhere. But what was weird, I did not see Ted.
I don't think I did either.
Because that was the two things I was watching for the entire movie. I was like, Ted's going to show up somewhere, and Bruce is going to show up somewhere.
Ted, I guess he was in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, he was one of the reporter guys.
Yeah.
Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, and he was in The Grudge, even though Sam Raimi didn't direct The Grudge.
Yeah, he was the dude that was like working at the convalescent nursing home or whatever.
Yeah, the people that hired out the carers or whatever.
Yeah, Ted Raimi always shows up in any of Sam's movies. So like I was watching for him the entire time. Never saw him.
I didn't see him either.
But the second I hear Bruce, Pizza Papa always gets paid. I was like, oh great, he's Pizza Papa. Okay. But he was great. I love Bruce. I love Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of a weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like Doctor Strange being like, oh, he's got to punch himself for a week because he wanted to get paid. I mean, what the hell? Yeah. It's kind of mean there, buddy. It was just because we're mean because it's Bruce Campbell and it's funny.
It wears off pretty quick. Like a day or so, 2 or 3 weeks. The other thing that when we were watching the movie, you had the mid-credit stinger, and then at the end, it was Bruce Campbell punching himself, and then he stops and he goes, "It's over," and then you get black, and there's this dude like in a theater that maybe had like, I don't know, 200 people in it. 5 people left. The rest of the theater did not leave. So, because that always used to annoy me. You go see a Marvel movie and people start filing out, and you're like, you're in a fucking Marvel movie. There's something at the end. So I always assume those are people who have already seen it. But like 5 people filed out. Everyone else is sitting in the theater. And then they did the "it's over," and then it goes to the black screen. And someone said, "I fucking waited around for that."
Yeah.
And I looked back at the guy and I went, "It's kind of like at the end of Spider-Man." It was like, so
Patience.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't pay off.
Yeah. I think they've started to put the important stuff as the mid-credits one, and then just kind of like a little Easter egg at the end of it.
Well, you gotta figure like whoever is running these theaters are like,
get out.
Yeah,
we need to clean
like,
the theater
yeah.
for the next show.
Yeah, you keep putting this shit at the end, and people keep waiting around. So like, fucking stop it.
Yeah.
But like, they're known for it now. You have any movie that's like,
yeah, pretty much most movies I wait till the end of the credits now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fun. Like, it's something that did not happen a lot. I remember the first time I went and saw Ferris Bueller in the theater, and you had that thing at the end. You're still here?
Yeah,
it's over. You know, like that was fun.
Yeah.
But like, I still like getting in the Marvel shows because like, I'm so conditioned that when we watched Moon Knight, like I was waiting for something at the end of every episode.
Yeah, same here. I was fast forwarding it because it's at first I wasn't doing that, and then like one other shows, like maybe the Captain America one or something like that. I noticed that there was stuff at the end of one of the episodes. I'm like, oh, fucking shit, stop it! Put all your shit in the episode.
Yeah.
But I think some of the things they put at the end are not something you'd want to end an episode on, and they just want to add a little something to it. I think Peacemaker did it okay, where they would just kind of throw a little something at the end that had absolutely nothing to do with the show, and it was just kind of like a little funny.
It was fun.
Little funny tidbit. So I think that throwing Bruce Campbell at the end of it's fine. At the end of Spider-Man, did they throw a No Way Home? It was just a preview for Into the Multiverse of.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
so too. It
Yeah.
was just a trailer essentially.
And that was weird because like you expected it to be something, and it was a trailer for like the next movie that's coming up, and it's kind of like, okay, a Sony movie just basically put a trailer of a Marvel movie at the end. So okay,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, I mean, give me some of the broad strokes.
Okay, so I knew Wanda was going to be in this movie. I was not aware she was just going to be the antagonist, and I was fucking here for it because it was dope.
Yes.
And they went a lot of the horror kind of tropes with Wanda, which I thought was pretty fucking cool. Like when she shows up and it's just murdering people at Carmitage, like flat out gacking fools, and then like goes inside and gets stuck in the mirror trap. And now all of a sudden she's pulling people through reflective surfaces.
Yeah.
And like there's a reflective surface in the gong, and she fucking Sadakos her way out of it and like snaps back in. I'm like, this is fucking cool.
Yeah, when they did the whole freezy camera, when she was like snap, like I was like, okay, yeah, I could, like, Sam Raimi, like he's done some horror movies, and like his fucking signature was all over that movie.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing I don't like. Magic is literally the catch-all of everything. You have Thor, who has the lightning and the fucking hammer. You have Tony Stark, builds the suits with the fucking thing. Like, magic users can just fucking do anything. Like, there's no limit to what they can or can't do.
I mean, it's also magic it tends to be the reason someone has powers. Because when you think about like when we would play a superhero game, it'd be like, well, pick the origin of your character. And it's like, is it science? Is it just kind of like genetic? Is it mystical?
But I mean, I guess my point is,
alien.
You have mystical characters in this movie, but like, as long as you have like fucking hand jive, like you could do whatever the fuck you want to. And like Wanda, she's so good at it now because I'm guessing the influence of the Darkhold.
Yeah.
Where it's like she doesn't even really have to do anything. And like, you know, fucking, you have Strange who does like all the crazy shit, and like Wanda was doing this crazy thing where she was bringing her hands up like this, and I thought that was fucking dope. Like I don't like that catch all. Like it's literally, we worked our way into a corner with magic where it's like, how are we going to do this thing? And it's like, oh,
Magic will do it. Yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, think about how you play like D&D. You're a fighter. You pretty much only ever slash things in a sword. When you pick a wizard, one wizard is not like another wizard. It's all about the spells you pick.
Yeah.
And they can do stupid ass shit like that sometimes.
Right, but it's like one time. I'd like to see fucking Doctor Strange like walk up to a situation and they're like, oh, we need this spell to get in. He's like, sorry guys, I didn't memorize that this morning. Can we just sit down for a few minutes and let me Or I could read it straight out of my spell book, but I'm going to need you guys to reimburse me that 1,600 gold.
But I mean, he does that when he has to get the Darkhold and project to his universe. So it's like he knows where the spells are. He just has to go get it. And we're just missing a lot of the. We're missing out on a lot of the time in which he's sitting around studying stuff. We saw it a bit in his first movie, where you see like his body's asleep, but his astral self is like studying,
Reading.
So we get the sense that he's constantly pulling in pretty much everything, and most of the spells he does are kind of some similar stuff. He had some new ones, like that like little Hydra one that he threw out at Wanda. And it was a couple like little snapping heads, and she was cutting heads off, and then 2 more would grow back.
That shit was dope.
It was cool.
And it's such a minuscule part, but it was like probably one of my favorite parts of the entire movie. Is the first time they're getting attacked and the bus is up in the air and it's like it's being held by something invisible, and he casts the dispel invisibility spell.
Well, if you notice, the Eye of Agamotto opens up.
Yeah, I think that's like his focus.
Well, the Eye of Agamotto is its own mystical relic that can see the unseen. So he was using the relic to reveal.
Got it. But like I liked when he did that, and
it's like everyone is panicking.
Yeah, like the bus is floating and getting crushed.
And then he revealed a giant octopus monster, and then everyone lost their shit.
I like that. But like the thing I loved the most about it was you had the fucking thing that was like squeezing the bus, then it got shown, and I remembered it was like the look in the eye with disappointment, like you're fucking my shit up. Like I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I loved that look. But like to write the script for this movie, those fucking writers had to have been smoking like huge bowls of weed, because like that movie was all over the place. Not saying that I didn't have fun in it, but like I don't like the whole having the magical fucking MacGuffin turn out to be the red herring, because they're like, well, let's get the light holder, whatever the fuck it was called.
The Darkhold.
Well, you had the Darkhold.
Okay, the Vishanti. Book of Vishanti.
Yeah, so they had the magical I win button. And then that was like the point of getting that book the entire movie, and then they didn't even get it. Like, or when they did get it, it got destroyed, and it was like, what do we do now? And it's like, we'll tap dance our way out of it.
It's like, we'll figure this shit out. Well, it's kind of like the Book of Vishanti is going to have the counter spells for the Darkhold. Oh, we don't have it. Well, fuck. I guess we need to stop looking for this thing and figure some shit out.
Oh, it's weird. Like that was literally the point of the entire movie. It was like, we've got to get this book so we can save your life. Shit, we don't have the book. And it's kind of like, she's not going to die.
Yeah, probably not.
Like it's Marvel has, they don't pull punches sometimes, but it's like, was this movie done by Joss Whedon, or was it done by, with the brothers who did Endgame? I'm blanking on their name right now because it's late.
Yeah.
But like, no one died just because, I mean, now that I say that out loud, it's like Sam Raimi, he could have definitely killed somebody in that movie.
I mean, to be fair, like, you go into a Marvel movie expecting some stuff, but like Wanda popped Black Bolt's head. I mean, we don't care really, but he blew up Black Bolt's head. He unraveled Mr. Fantastic, cut Peggy Carter in half.
With her own shield.
Just crushed
Monica.
Maria Rambeau. It's Maria, not Monica.
Yeah.
So and flat out snapped Professor X's neck coming out of the mist from behind him. It's like,
let's see, that was cool though. Like I actually liked that.
That was great, but it's we got some horror shit. And I mean, it was the death of people in another universe, so it's kind of like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, no one cares.
But they're killing people that we know. So I mean, it being Maria Rambeau, I mean, at least you have some sort of connection. It being Peggy Carter, you at least have some sort of connection, even if it's not.
It's not ours.
It's not our Peggy Carter.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think I laughed about when they were like the Illuminati, and I was like, okay, that's cool. I don't know a lot about them because it's I think it's mainly a Doctor Strange thing.
I think it came out during the when we play the Marvel game right there. One of the factions is the Illuminati, and it's Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, Black Bolt, Namor, I think.
Namor.
And I think there's one more. So it's kind of like they came together when all of the universes were converging as sort of if all these universes come together, we're going to get wiped out. So we need to do the hard thing and start wiping out universes so we can at least we can exist. And they were kind of the heroes making the hard calls to save lives.
And I think that's where the movie took a bit of a turn for me, is because I was expecting, you got Patrick Stewart's voice in the trailer. So they completely ruined that. But, like, the thing I loved is when he rolled out in the yellow cartoon.
Yeah, the little hover car.
And it even did the...
Yeah.
And, like, when that happened, I heard it and was like, oh, shit. And I looked at Amber, I said, did you hear that? She's like, what? And I was like, you didn't hear the theme song to the cartoon? She's like, no, I totally missed that.
Was it the cartoon or was it the movie?
I think it was the cartoon.
I don't remember.
I might be wrong, but I think it was the cartoon.
It might have been. I remember hearing the X-Men theme, and X-Men theme is what's in my head.
Right.
But which one? So I finished this movie, and I'm like, man, I want to see this movie again, but I'm not going to go to the theaters to see it again.
Oh, no.
So I'll wait until it comes out. But, like, I finished this movie being like, man, there's a lot of cool stuff in here I want to, like, slow down and, like, look at.
Well, it's like you were just... I guess the best way for me to explain how the movie was to me was it was like it's everything coming at you all at once.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're just like, have this cool thing now, have this cool fucking thing now, have this cool thing. Take 5 seconds to breathe. Here's some more cool shit. And it's like it's coming at you so fucking fast that by the time you're processing what you've seen, something else is coming at you.
Once they showed Doctor Strange's hands versus the other universe Doctor Strange hands, and that's like, here it is. Oh, and it's gone. I'm like, I want to compare and contrast.
Yeah.
Didn't give me time.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just, oh my god. It's hard for me to basically say everything I thought about the movie because, like, there was just so many neat shit. There's so much neat shit. There were so many Easter eggs. But, like, the highlights of the movie I really like Wanda. I really do.
Yeah.
And I like the turn. I like how they defeated the enemy. I thought that was neat. If I can't give you, if
Yeah, I can't beat you. I'll just give you what I want.
I'll give you what you want. And then she basically realized she was the monster. I thought that was really cool. I didn't like how they were basically saying that she killed herself. She's done. She's going and wiping out the Darkhold and all these different things.
She didn't kill herself.
And I think she's gone. And it's like, no, she's not gone. The fact that, like, the fucking Darkhold is, like, disappearing from other places means she's going from area to area, basically eliminating that book. Because it's not like she's a Nexus being, so if she wanted to, I imagine she could just be like, okay, we're all doing it. But, like, the way they wrote it off in this movie is she was doing the skin dancing or whatever it was called, where she's basically possessing her other selves.
Yeah, that was they call it dreamwalking.
Dreamwalking. But, like, if she's a Nexus being, she should be conscious of herself and all of her decisions and every single fucking, like, everything. And I don't know a lot about it, so if there's anybody right now like, you motherfucker, it's not the way they didn't, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't read Doctor Strange, but yeah, it was just, there was so much good shit. As far as, like, the way they gacked everybody. So what they did to
Black Bolt,
hilarious.
It was great. And I just kind of like that it was a subtle Mr. Fantastic giving away his power. It's like with one utterance from his voice, you'll be destroyed. You just kind of see that look on her face, like, oh, what mouth?
And I had Matrix flashbacks on that. How can you say it if you have no mouth? And, like, Neo has no mouth. Like, I totally got flashbacks to that. But, like, what qualifies you honestly to be on the Illuminati board? It's like we have a doctor, we have a professor who can read your mind and make you do anything he wants. We have the god of the sea. We have a dude who could stretch, but he's smart. We have this chick with a shield, but it's a really cool shield.
Yeah, I don't know why she was there. I mean, you had Captain Marvel as kind of a super powerful connection to, like, the space and to the stars. Xavier is kind of like the connection to the mutants. Namor, which they didn't put in here, but it's supposed to be like the connection to the sea. I mean, Doctor Strange was the Sorcerer Supreme, so he's kind of the connection to the Mystic.
Oh, and that's what nerds were mad about. I think when they saw that the Illuminati was in the movie, they were like, oh god, we're going to get a fucking glimpse at Namor, and it didn't happen. But it's like, you got
so many other ones.
Yeah.
Like throwing in Namor, you would, I mean, maybe you could have gotten rid of Peggy Carter and had Namor on there instead. But we were getting people that we kind of, like, knew.
Honestly, if you would have got rid of Peggy, my wife would have fucking revolted. Like, because she squealed when she came up on the screen. And I think her name's Haley Atwell. My wife fucking loves her. And I think she's a great actress, too.
Yep.
It really surprised me when Reed showed up on the screen, and it was fucking
John Krasinski.
yeah, John Krasinski or fucking what's his name in The Office?
No, I don't remember.
I don't either, but yeah, like when I saw him, like that was a complete and utter spoiler for me. That's something that was untainted. And when I saw him, I was just like, okay,
Yep.
So I was pleasantly surprised by that. Patrick Stewart, I think he's done with the whole Professor X shtick. Like that dude, just let's give him a break. You know,
He didn't have to do a whole lot in this movie. He kind of came out, said a few things, said his one line from one of the X-Men movies, which I don't remember which one it is at this point in time. Something about like just because you stumble doesn't mean you're lost forever or something like that.
yeah.
And then he got to walk around in Wanda's mind.
And see, I think that was the thing. Is Patrick Stewart's like, you want me to come back for what now? Okay, I sit in a large yellow chair. When I deliver my lines, I could do that. I have to wear khakis and a sweater and walk through a void. I don't know. And it's like, well, they're going to snap your neck. I'm done with this character? Okay. How much now?
How many times have you killed me? 4?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What's another one? Toss another log on the fucking fire.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's everything you want in a spring movie.
Yeah, it's spring.
It's a great popcorn movie. Very entertaining. It's built a lot of fucking bridges towards future projects like Marvel movies do.
Yeah. It's definitely still opening up the world for shit just to come across to the multiverse super easy. Because now just America Chavez can just go to other universes. And it seems like she's unique. Like she's the only version of her at all.
Well, that's what she said.
Yeah, she doesn't dream.
Right. And she's searched everything and she hasn't found another one of her. But like, if I'm to make one complaint about Marvel right now, and believe me, I'm a Marvel fanboy. I'm there for all the movies opening night. If I can get there, I'm there. But as compared to what was going on with, I guess it's phase 1, 2, and 3 of like the first one, it's like they had a goal. And it feels like with this latest phase, they're literally throwing anything at the fucking dartboard.
Well, I wonder if they're seeking to, because now it's Disney acquiring a bunch of properties. If it's now making a storyline to integrate it all into one, then they'll like close that shit off and then just kind of run with it from there. It's kind of like, well, you've got this world, it's established. We want the X-Men, and we want Daredevil, and we want this one, and we want this one. So they're gonna do all this wacky shit to get it all here.
But like, can you even say we're in 616 at that point? Because we have established canon and storyline. So like, are we still doing 616 when this is all over, or are we in 814 where like all of this can exist and it's pretty fucking close to what we had from the movies?
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we're going to settle down, especially with like the Loki show not quite finished yet too. I wonder if all this shit's going to come in and it's going to get a big showdown with Kang that's going to set us back into one multiverse, one timeline, and just kind of get it fucking done. And leave the multiverse stuff for Spider-Man because they're pulling in different Spider-Man.
So I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. Kang's going to show up. He's going to kick everyone's ass. They're going to destroy 616, and everyone's going to be like, oh. Like at the end of fucking Infinity War. And then at the end of that, we're going to find out that the timeline that won had everything that we've seen in the past, but like the X-Men have always been there. Yeah,
I think it'll go through and rewrite the storyline to what they want it to be and include all the shit that they want to. And then we won't have to do universe hopping anymore. It'll just be like, well, the X-Men are here? Well, they've always been here.
Yeah, and then that can be a nice little convenient thing we could put a bow on and stick in the background until...
And then move on to new storylines.
Yeah, until eventually we wear down fucking Sony and get Spider-Man. So...
That'll be a cold day in hell.
If they keep bombing at the theaters like they have been, it's only a matter of time. But it's like, I feel like with Sony, they're just like, we'll just keep putting out stinkeroos to keep the fucking property rights on this stuff.
Oh, we got Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery. We're going to put out a Venom movie. You only kind of like, how about another Spider-Man movie? You like that one? Okay. How about another Venom movie? What about a Spider-Man movie? Okay. Morbius? Oh, okay. Another Spider-Man. It's going to weave into Spider-Man every other, like a zipper.
Morbius? How about Spider-Man? With the Spider-Man you knew and the Spider-Man you knew. So, yeah.
We'll make another Spider-Man movie with Andrew Garfield because you guys want that one. You didn't used to want it, but now you do for some reason.
All the old codgers and all the fucking millennials went to go see that movie and they're just like, And then as soon as like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire show, and I guess I have to like it now. Okay,
Okay, it's fine.
okay, let's just let it happen.
I couldn't help but like that movie just because how much of it was nostalgia, probably most of it. But then pulling in Alfred Molina and just giving me old Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It worked.
It was just mushy face. I don't like mushy face.
Yeah.
It's like
De-aged in it.
some of these people are 80 years old. Stop trying to do your own fight scenes. It's annoying. You're literally fighting a dude who can fucking like snatch shit out of the air. Like, you know, he had fucking pumpkin
Bombs.
yeah, not bombs, but the things that have like the blades on them. There's like the movie where like they threw like
the
four
first
of
one
them,
and he like dodged them all.
and he's like jumping through them and shit. Like that motherfucker can do crazy shit. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. Stop it. But yeah,
Well, then you throw it against poor old Willem Dafoe against Tom Holland, and Tom Holland's young and full of energy and like acrobatic. Have you seen like the outtake where he's running down the street? He's in like essentially the mocap suit, but he's running down. He like jumps up on a car, does like a flip, and like jumps onto like a little trampoline, jumps off it, does like a flip, and then runs over to the car. But like he's doing all that shit.
yeah, and he looks awesome.
And he looks fucking great. And then you put him up against poor Willem Dafoe, who wants to do his own stunt work. I mean, obviously, because I mean it's the character you want to be. You want to be the character. It's just you're old.
Stop it. Just fucking stop it. It just reminds me. And if you watch this, Mike, I love you, but it's like Amber's dad whenever we get together, and he always does like karate shit at me. And like we'll get together, and Mike's like, pew, 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 and I'm just like, I'll destroy you. And even though I'm thinking that Mike's had actually like training and stuff like that, she'll probably knock me the fuck out. But like, it's just what goes through my head every single time. But yeah, what did you think about the way that the Illuminati met their end? Like, I wanted to elaborate more on that because, like, him cutting her in half with the shield, that was neat. But it's kind of like you have a woman who can absorb and redirect infinite power. You have a dude who could speak you out of existence. You have a guy that can, like, tie you up with his body and, like, unthank you, literally. And then you have a woman with a rocket pack and a shield. And it's kind of like, was she...
Yeah, she was the weak one out of all of them.
But man, and I think the only thing they had to do with her is like give her like supertude, because like she was mad, and like I don't know what she was so big mad at, because like she was scowling the entire time, which is fine if you're mad about what's happening to your universe and everything like that. I get it, but it's like I'm used to the jovial cracking jokes.
Well, we're in a different universe now. Who knows what happened to that Captain Britain? Yeah,
but then like even like we got our Monica Rambeau, who was it Photon? Not Photon. What's her name?
Monica Rambeau was Photon. Maria Rambeau. I don't remember if she was ever a captain.
I don't think they ever said Photon, but basically I think that's who she was.
Well, Monica Rambeau I think becomes Photon. Well, but she actually becomes Captain Marvel first.
Right.
Monica Rambeau was Captain Marvel before
Carol Danvers.
Carol Danvers, in the comic books at least.
Yeah, it was just, but I mean, like, she looked fucking
pissed.
Awesome. Yeah, well, no, she looked big mad too, but like, she had the fucking hair and like, just her suit looked fucking dope. And that was the other thing, is like, I got super... not nostalgia, but I got like deja vu when she unwound John Krasinski, because it reminded me of the whole thing when Thanos like basically did them.
Well, I mean, they even call her with like reality warping powers, and that's what Thanos did to the other ones. It was use the reality stone to kind of like, well, now you're slivers and you've been corded.
Yeah, I think he did that with Mantis. I think she exploded in a ribbon too.
And he cubed Drax or something like that.
Yes, he cubed him. And then, like, Mantis, I think she stuck up her hands, and then she just started, like twirling.
Like unraveled.
Yeah, like the fucking ribbon you see in the Olympics. I got super, like, callback on that. But, yeah, like, it was just... You have to be able to find... I dare someone to say this one thing about the movie, like, completely ruined it for me. Because I can't think of anything they did that was, like, a misstep in this movie.
No, not really. I mean, there's the... kind of boring trope of like you've got the young person or just the person who can't control the powers and like I can't do it, I can't control my powers, it only happens when it's
believe in yourself.
I can't believe myself. And then later on in the movie it's like You need to believe in yourself. It's like, no, it's not. I'm not there yet. And then at the end of the movie, it's like, have you tried believing in yourself yet? Oh, it worked. Believing in myself worked. There was nothing. There's no MacGuffin or whatever to kind of do to trigger it. It's just kind of like the guy saying like, "It's not your fault." I know, man. It's not your fault.
No, man. Seriously, it's
Not
your fault.
for you. It's not your fault.
Not you, man. Don't do this.
It's like you just have to say it enough, and all of a sudden it finally gets through. Like, believe in yourself.
Well, it's with that one. To me, it was like, you could do it. I can't. And in the middle of the movie, you can do it. I can't. And at the end of the movie, it's like, we're fucking dead.
You
if
have
you
to
don't.
do it.
So, like, reach down and grab your big boy fucking shoes. And, like, that's...
Look at me, I'm possessing a corpse. Just fucking do it.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to give some inspiring superheroes out there. If you have powers and you can't control them, all you have to do is go from this to this.
Then you got it.
Yeah, if you furrow the brow, your powers will work every time because that's the look of determination. So, at least that's my take on it. But yeah.
I thought, speaking of Doctor Strange possessing the corpse, I thought that was fucking dope too. When he started just collecting all the spirits and turned them like into his fucking cloak and was flying his wraith cloak over to the thing.
That was cool as shit. Like, yeah, I am, and I mean, how can you not like this movie? Like, I know there are people out there that are like dragging it through the fucking mud right now, but it's like, how much of a miserable prick do you have to be to like watch a movie like that and have one thing? Like, there's someone out there right now. It's like, fuck that movie. And it's like, why? It's because they're trying to say the comic book universe and 616 are the same place. They're not, and I won't accept that. And it's like, you're literally going to let that one detail ruin the movie for you. And I'm not talking about you. I know.
Oh, no. It's like, I gave it a 7. It's like, there's shit in the movie I don't like, which is why it's a 7 and not like an 8 or 9 or 10. But there's more in this movie that is worth it than not worth it. And I think some people see the one thing that's not worth it, and then that just fucking digs it in to their head, and they're like, fucking 1. And then some people who are like, I like this movie, and other people don't like it, then it's a fucking 10. And they're not like looking at it kind of like critically to look for the things that you can critique as being, not so great.
And instead of destroying the whole movie because of one part, how about you just fucking tell us what you didn't like about that one part and try and enjoy the rest of the movie? And I'm not picking on anybody in general. It's just...
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's things in movies that you're like, I can't get over this particular thing. Yeah. Because it's the third movie in a franchise or something like that, and they make the character do something awful. It's like, this is the third Captain America movie? Well, in this movie, he does something awful to Peggy involving the R word. And you're like, that's not his character at all. Why the fuck would you do that? It's like, it only happened in 3 seconds of the movie.
Okay, I can understand that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There are some things you can pick out of a thing and say, like, this part destroys the movie for me.
Sure.
But something like, it's called 616. That's the comic book, and having that destroy the movie for you or something. Or just be like, man, this tone was silly. I mean, sure, it's Sam Raimi. I mean, it's a Marvel movie still.
Well, I mean, you're going to get different directors for different movies, and they're all going to bring their own styles. Yeah. So, and I thought he did a great job. Like, I love Sam Raimi. I think he's great. Pizza Papa. He couldn't give your boy a better part than that, man. Come on.
I like that the pizza was balls for some reason.
Well, yeah, it was pizza balls, and not only that, but like, Pizza Pop always gets paid, and then basically you have your guy like basically just punch himself into oblivion for the rest of the movie, or at least that part until the end. But like, I mean, he got the closing stinger.
He did.
I guess that's something.
But also, like, America got the line of like, in most universes, food is free, and then this one it clearly wasn't, which just leads you to believe like, either it's not all free. Or she said she'd been to 72 universes out of an infinite number of universes. You can't go to 72 places in an infinite number and be like, well, most of them are free. Your sample size, compared to infinity, your sample size is 0.
That's true. Well, I mean, I imagine she would like open.
I think she steals stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, not only that, but like, I know she can't control her powers, but it's like you get thrown into one particular place, and it happens when you're scared. So like, she goes to a fucking what if universe, and she's like, nope. And then like, star opens up underneath her, and she goes to a different place. So, I mean, I'd like to know what that ratio is. If she's been to 72 different places, it's like, okay, 50 of them.
Yeah, how much of it is free stuff? Okay, and how much of it is her just assuming it's free? Yeah, you like walk by in a stall on the road and be like, oh, cool, I can just have this donut when the guy's not looking, and just.
Then why is the guy there? He should just show up and drop off the fucking donuts and then pimp the fuck away.
I know, if it's free food.
Yeah, so, right, but you see Pizza Papa, you better drop some fucking money on the cart. But I did like that idea, like, of that future, like plants growing up everything.
Oh, it was really cool.
Yeah, but like the whole, oh, you walk on green, you walk on red. Okay, like, okay, well, let's just flip that bit.
Well, I mean, a lot of that stuff is fucking arbitrary. So, well, like why we pick green versus red. I mean, some of it's due to psychology or whatever, but for the most part, it's kind of an arbitrary choice. Yeah. Like if I was playing a game and I had a red bar and a blue bar, what's the blue bar?
Magic.
And what's the red bar?
Health.
Yeah. Ultimately fucking arbitrary, because what color's magic? Oh, it's blue. No, it's not.
Purple.
Yeah.
Well, it can be purple.
It can be purple. It can be green too.
I mean,
like fell magic and stuff like that in some games is green. Some of the necrotic magic is usually purple because black doesn't show up on film.
Well, I think Marvel's already basically stated like red is okay.
What's red is like reality sort of shit. I think because Wanda tends to shoot red stuff, and that was like the red, the reality stone.
Yeah, but then you had people like in Moon Knight, that dude, he was like doing everything purple, and I guess they've already picked that purple is like the evil color.
I think that's got to do with like necromantic stuff and black not showing, so you have to show a dark color.
Yeah, I think it's their Sith have red lightsabers. Yeah. But yeah, I don't have a whole hell of a lot more to say about the movie other than the fact that, you know, it was highly enjoyable.
Yeah.
There's just go with like a beer or two in you, and you're going to fucking lose your skull.
I think there's enough cool stuff in this movie. Like, especially if you're a fan of Wanda, I think this is a fucking dope movie for her. Or like where they really just let her like crank it up to fucking 12. Like everyone else cranking it to 11, she cranks it right past him to 12.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking shit up, and it's dope.
Yeah, she was. Oh, and the other thing that I really liked in the movie, and I think it was in this one, was when Wang was
Wong.
Or Wong. So I know you're not supposed to use the name of the octopus monster.
Shumagora.
Yeah, so Shumagorath, I believe, is actually owned by like some other place.
Yeah. So they like renamed it in the credits or something.
But it was basically Shumagorath.
Yeah, it's Shumagorath.
But like the thing I thought was interesting is I think it's when it snatched Wong and like threw him, and he did the whole portal, and it does like the redirection thing.
Oh yeah, when he's falling.
Yeah, he's falling down, and then all of a sudden he's like across the street, and Amber literally went, "Now you're thinking with portals," and I was like, "Hey," like I couldn't help myself on that one. But yeah, like there's just so much neat shit, and I swear, the writer's room has got to be like, okay, how about this thing flies out of his face? And they're like, ooh, I like that. You know, like they've got to be thinking of like as many wacky things as they can fucking do. How about if he knits together death spirits and makes a cloak and flies across the city in it? And people are like, seriously, dude, like how much fucking Ritalin did you do this morning before you came in? You know, like it's just, it'll boggle the mind some of the dumb shit they think up in that movie. And you know what? It's a Marvel movie, so you just fucking go with it.
Yeah. So I think there's like maybe one other thing I want to discuss real quick.
Oh.
So at the end of the movie, like you kind of get like he read the dark cold, and he's walking through the streets, and like he goes to his knees screaming, and then the third eye opens up, like his actions are gonna have consequences. But then in the middle stinger, it's like, well, we have to set up something else. Now he's fine. So like we didn't end with the movie with him like going crazy due to power. Instead we end with Charlize Theron being Clea, showing up and being like, now we got to do this other thing. It's like, let's go on another adventure. Well, that kind of undermines the ending a little bit to kind of preview that everything's fine and we're going to go on a new adventure with Clea instead.
Or did the end up with the eye opening up? Was that 616 Strange, and then the Clea was like showing up to 714, which is pretty fucking close to the one that we know. It's not. Yeah, no. If I'm being honest with you, I didn't know who Clea was. I have no idea.
I'm vaguely familiar because I used to play that Marvel Future Fight game, and they had Clea and Hellstorm, who were siblings, and I believe their father is Mephisto.
I think it's Dormammu.
Is it Dormammu?
So I know Clea. So two things that I watch, because naturally, whenever I get back, I want to know.
Yeah,
what's
you want to
going
know.
on.
You want to know who they are.
So like I watch Screen Crush, because Ryan Arias, he seems like he knows everything. But like I think it's in one form of the comic book, he was Dormammu's she was Dormammu's daughter.
Okay.
But it's like, how the fuck does that guy get busy? Is it Immaculate Conception?
Probably.
And then another version, I think it's his niece.
Okay.
Still begs the question.
How do you have siblings?
Yeah, like how do you have siblings? Like what's up with that?
That's, I mean, in the Marvel universe, they made him a big fucking wavy-headed thing, whereas like in the Marvel comics, he's just a big tall dude with a
matchstick head.
Yeah, with a matchstick head.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to make it big and impressive.
But so I'm like, we're worried that matchstick head is gonna look stupid. Like, I miss stupid shit. It's fun. Throw down a strip, like they made Thanos cool, and Thanos is just a big purple dude with a
Ball sack
with
chin.
a ball sack chin,
Yeah.
and they make him fucking dope. You can find a way to make your big matchstick head man cool in some way.
I think the way they pulled that off is they gave Thanos the voice of Josh Brolin, and he's got a very cool fucking voice. But if like you would have given Bobcat Goldthwait the role and be like, Avengers, I'm so glad you came. Like people are gonna buy into that shit. But
That's at that point in time, it's not you trying to make him cool anymore.
Okay, good point.
If you put your effort into it, I think you can make anything cool. And I think that's one of the things that was annoying about the second Fantastic Four movie. Was it Rise of the Silver Surfer?
Fan Four Stick?
No, the Rise of the Silver Surfer, not the remake of Fan Four Stick.
Got it.
Where they had Galactus. And Galactus is a big fucking guy that eats planets, and they made him a dust cloud.
Yeah.
And like, just lean into the stupid, make him a giant purple man that comes down to like, oh, your planet, because it's dumb, and you can't make it. You like trying to lean into him being a fucking dust cloud and be like, ooh, just stop. Lean into the stupid, make the stupid cool.
It is stupid, but honestly, I think it's like meet Carl. Mm-hmm. Carl will be playing Galactus. Okay, so we're going to be doing the screen. So you're going to be looking at these little marbles down here, and that's what you're looking like on the planet. Okay, here's Carl's hat.
Yep.
And someone went, nah.
Well, the hat was in the shadow of, like, there was the lightning when Silver Surfer went up to go meet it, and it had the silhouette of the hat.
Okay.
So they didn't even give up the hat and making him a dust cloud. Which, keep the fucking hat. Who gives a shit? He's a giant spaceman who eats planets.
Nice fucking hat, weirdo. Oh shit, you just ate our planet.
Oh my god, he's eating my essence.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was one of the things that killed the movie for me. But Silver Surfer was fucking dope in that movie. Dope.
But he was also Doug Jones too, which helps.
Well, Doug Jones, have we ever really seen his face in anything? So I know he's Ape Sapien and Hellboy.
I mean, I've seen him in a web series, but like in a movie, I don't know that I've seen his face in things in a movie. They usually make him pull a bunch of shit on him.
So in the Shape of Water, he's the merman.
Yeah, and he was Ape Sapien, the merman, and Hellboy.
Right. So I guess he was a dead ringer for that.
He was Hand Dude in Pan's Labyrinth. He was also had another role in Hellboy. I think he was the guy that was I think it was the second one where the guy like was on a cart and he was wiggling himself around with like little tonfas.
Okay.
I think that was him too. He was the gentleman in Buffy. You know, the Hush episodes. The guy, like the main one that had the hand shit.
The gigantic teeth.
Of course. That's Doug Jones. You could tell by the fucking mimed handwork that it's.
I didn't know that. But then again, I've only seen that episode one time.
Yeah.
So, he was also, I think his name is Saru in the Star Trek Discovery, the new Star Trek show.
Is he made up?
He's another big alien monster thing. But it's like, he's like lanky and super tall.
And he's got, because I don't know how much stuff he actually adds his voice to, but he's got great like mime work or whatever. Like he's very expressive with his hands.
You have to when like you're under a costume. When Yeah, he gives great head work.
He does.
But no, I really don't have much more to say about it.
I'd say this movie's good. Like I'm looking forward to seeing it again, but I want to watch it at my house where I can like rewind a little bit or pause and kind of like take in a few of the scenes a little bit more, go back and see things that I missed.
When we get better at editing, and by better at editing I mean when we just try, I want to start doing the whole reaction vids.
No.
Maybe just have like me and you sitting beside each other on the fucking couch, like watching some of these movies with just a camera and a microphone on us. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it's like the thing that when you have like a 3-hour movie or 2-hour, 2.5 hour movie, there's so much stuff that gets run over, and I know I should be writing it. Like having a small script that has
like a list or whatever things you want to talk about
that has like the touch points on it. But it's like the format we decided to go with on this was just like,
see the movie and then get together on the weekend
and then just bullshit about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd like to eventually start doing like reactionaries because
I'm less keen on that, just mainly because I don't like when I watch a movie. I just sit and watch it. I'm not.
You don't want to be conscious of a camera fucking staring at you.
Yeah, I'd rather just watch the movie.
Yeah, and I keep trying to forget about that fucking thing over there, but it's like for some reason, every now and then I'm able to slip off and like talk about this or that, and then I get verklempt because it's like, oh yeah,
this is going on the internet.
Yeah,
forever.
So yeah, forever. But so yeah, Nick, would you recommend Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Craziness?
I would say yes, with the caveat of being like, it's a Marvel movie, so at this point in time, if you don't like Marvel movies, this one's probably not going to change your mind. Mm-hmm. But it's still good, and it's got enough of that Sam Raimi flair to it that I think they classified it as a horror movie. I mean, no, but
loosely.
Yeah, it's not really a horror movie. It's a horror Marvel movie.
There's enough there that I think they had to put something out there saying,
it's more spooky.
Yeah,
it's got more scenes that might be viewed as disturbing. Because I mean, like it only happened for a second, but when Wanda comes out of the fog cloud and snaps Professor X's head, she's looking kind of fiendish.
Yeah, I think she had like big teeth and all that shit.
Yeah, yeah. But that stuff happened so quick, and that's kind of why I want to like pause it and look at Wanda to see how dope she looks.
As far as like my recommendation, I would definitely recommend you go see this movie. Touching on what you said, if you don't like Marvel movies, if you at least see this one, it's going to be enough to where you're going to be like, what the fuck did I just watch? And you're going to like it, but you're not going to be sure why. Only for the fact that they throw so much good shit at you. There was a lot of love and care in this movie. That much I'm sure of. All the performances were fucking fantastic. Go see this movie.
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
If you are literally the person that turned this off because of spoilers, shame on you. Go see this movie. Nick went and saw this movie in the theater. Go see this movie. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't like to go in.
I know you don't.
I don't like going to theaters.
I know you don't, but it's like, to me, that's like a big thing. Like, I know that you're excited about, or at least super curious about going to go see something when you're like, yeah, I'll go catch it in the theater.
That's generally a lot of times I'm worried about. If it's a movie I care about, this one's going to have spoilers, shit in it. Like, I'm glad the only person I knew on that council was going to be Peggy Carter. If I had waited much more, like another week, and I'd just be scrolling through YouTube and be like, oh, here's the lineup of the entire. Stop it! If I could cut that shit out.
Amber had she had the Reed Richards reveal ruined for her. I don't know if she had the Haley Atwell thing. I might have that reversed. But
because I saw her Haley Atwell on someone's thumbnail.
Well, it's just if you have those people. Like, you can literally tell YouTube to, like, start ignoring every one of their videos. So, just, like, this is not appropriate. Just take this off my fucking feed. And then they'll just disappear. Because every single time a movie's coming out, around, like, Wednesday and Thursday, Amber's like, stop looking at Facebook, like, right now. Don't look at anything. But honestly, when I scroll through my shit, the only thing I see is, like, was the scene where Scarlet Witch went, shh. And there was something like, somebody posted something on the Facebook that was like, shh. It was her basically just don't fucking spoil anything or I'll blast your kneecaps off. But yeah, if you had to stop this to go see the movie and you're coming back,
it's good.
Just what took you so long?
Yeah. As we went this entire movie and I learned how to pronounce Xochitl Gomez.
Who?
Xochitl Gomez, America Chavez. Because it's Xochitl or something like that. I'm like, oh, I better make sure I know how to pronounce that name for when we talk about the movie. And then, like, she was good. She was fine. But, like, she's not the part of the movie I really want to talk about.
Yeah, no. Well, so I didn't like her in the beginning. Because, like,
she's an arrogant kid.
Well, not necessarily that it was just arrogant kid, but it's like her performance felt very stiff. And then as the movie went on, I think she was getting more comfortable.
I wonder if it was just character being guarded or whatever.
I don't know. And that probably has a lot to do with it.
Since, she was with Stephen Strange, and then he's like, oh, sorry,
So it's for the greater good.
greater good. And then she runs into another one. She's like, what's he gonna do to me this time?
This one's different. And I just, for some reason, in the entire movie, it's like, yeah, I got to do it too.
Here, stop it.
All
All
right.
right, I think we could put a bow on this one. Thanks for joining us for the latest new to the scene. We were going to do the Nick Cage one, but that was in the theater for like, did you see it? It's like, no, it's too quick.
So that's
So
what I was.
that'll be a co-video at this point in time,
Unless you want to go see it this weekend.
Is it still out in the
It's
theater?
in Citadel Theater.
And where?
Citadel Theater in West Ashley.
No, probably not.
Looks like it's co-video.
Do I want to drive even further to go to a movie theater? I don't want to go to. Not really.
Okay, I mean that's fair.
No.
I can't argue that.
No. So that'll be a co-video at some point in time. And if you've got any more ideas for things that like you want us to talk about, let us know. Or what did you think about this movie? Is there any cameos you saw that would be really cool? Is there stuff you wished was in there? Did you know who that Black Bolt was, the guy who was in the Inhuman show?
Did you see the Stanley cameo?
I didn't. Was he there?
No, but I'm sure one person's like, technically.
He was a picture in the background, which could have been.
That's I think that's what they've been doing here lately. Or it's a line, once something famous that he said at one time. They'll do the Excelsior thing somewhere in the movie. But
All right. Well, I guess we'll see you next time.
later, fuckers.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.